Hi, I am Dr. Manar Elmehankar, lecturer of medical parasitology. Today, I would like to talk about phylum Nematomorpha, which called hairworms or gorgeous worms. This lecture will help you to know taxonomy, morphology, physiology, and life cycle of Nematomorpha. Nematomorpha are parasites of arthropods, as beetles and crickets. They are highly elongated, active worms that emerge typically in dramatic fashion, usually from the rear ends of their hosts, when the latter fall into water. The phylum Nematomorph have been placed in two groups, Nyctonematida and Gordida. About Nyctonematida contains a single genus called Nyctonema with 5 species, all of which are marine and are found in crustaceans. While Gordidas occur in freshwater, semi-terrestrial and terrestrial hosts such as crickets, cockroaches, mantids, grasshoppers and beetles. In this picture, you can see Gordian worm emerging from 2 infected crickets. This picture showing emergence of a single worm within seconds, and this picture showing several worms emerging within a minute. Let's start with adult morphology. The adult of Nematomorpha is very long, cylindrical, and filamentous, ranging from a few centimeters to 3 meters in length. Mature worms range from pure white to almost black, but many, if not most species, are brown. There is a lighter colored area at the interior end, and behind that a pigmented ring. Females are generally larger than males, and some species have dorsal and ventral rows of bristles that may function to aid in swimming. The body wall is very sturdy, and cuticle surface often is ornate with surface features known as areoles, depending on the species. Areoles may include raised polygon-shaped areas, papillae, and bristles. Beneath that cuticle lies a ciliary epidermis that is thickened into a ventral cord in case of Gordians, or both dorsal and ventral cords in case of Nyctonematids. And the nervous system consists of a cerebral ganglion and a mid-ventral nerve cord, either embedded in or loosely attached to the ventral epidermal cord. The digestive system is greatly reduced in adults. Many species have no mouth opening, and the gut join with reproductive ducts to form a cloaca lined with cuticle. Only longitudinal muscles are present, and locomotion consists mainly of coiling movements. Gordiads and Nyctonematids differ in muscle cell structure. Myofibrils include the cell body in Gordiads, whereas Nyctonematids cells are coelorean as in certain nematodes. Sexes are separate, and most of the body cavity of adults is filled with gonads. In Gordiads, the gonads are paired, while in Nyctonematids possess single unpaired gonad. Males and females have rounded anterior ends, but differ in the structure of their posterior ends. The male's lobes are used in clasping a female during copulation. In members of phylum Nematomorpha lack cephalic papillae of any kind, lateral epidermal cords, secretory-excretory systems, amphids, and copulatory spicules, all structure possessed by nematodes. Female genital openings are at their posterior end instead of near the middle of the body, as in many nematodes. In this picture, you can see both female and male posterior ends. Now, we will talk about morphology of larvae of Nematomorpha. Gordian larvae are small, about 100 micrometer long, and quite different from adults. The larval body is divided into two parts, a pre-septum and a post-septum. Each division is ringed, similar to nematode cuticle. At the interior end, the pre-septum contains an irreversible proboscis bearing 3 rows or crowns of hooks. This set of hooks is used to bore through the gut of a pathogenic host. The post-septum contains a large granular mass, the pseudointestine, which is thought to be used in formation of the cyst wall. Nectonematids larvae have been observed only rarely, but both their structure and behavior are similar to those of Gordians. And this picture showing the structure of larval nematomorph, which consists of number 1 spines, 2 stylets, 3 body wall, 4 proboscis, and 5 pseudocele, 6 retractor muscles, 7 septum, 8 gland, 9 intestine, 10 anus, and finally number 11 terminal spine. After taxonomy and morphology of adult and larva of nematomorph, let's talk about physiology. Adults don't feed but are able to survive and remain active for days and sometimes weeks in cool water, so energy they require must be stored during development. Non-specific esterases and alkaline phosphatases have been detected in both the intestinal epithelium and the body wall of juvenile Nectonema species, and radioactive lysine is taken up across both surfaces, so it is possible that nutrients are taken up across both surfaces. In freshwater forms, mating begins almost immediately upon emergence, with males actively entangling females. Females produce astounding numbers of eggs, estimated to be in the millions, which they release as white strings, sometimes fixed to vegetation or other substrates. These eggs then develop into active larvae within 14 to 30 days, depending on the species. And these larvae burrow through the gut wall and insist, when consumed by any of a variety of aquatic invertebrates, including small crustaceans, aquatic insects, and snails. Encystment takes place within 5 to 7 days, and cysts can occur in almost any part of a host's body. The sixth wall is of parasite origin. Upon consumption by a second invertebrate, typically a cricket, grasshopper, or beetle, larvae exist and burrow through the gut and into the hemocoel. Development into an adult requires 1 to 3 months, depending on species. The life cycle is completed when a parasitized cereal arthropod enters water and worms emerge, usually in rapid and dramatic fashion, to begin mating. And aquatic invertebrates in which Nematomorpha larvae incest are considered transport or parasitonic hosts because, other than a question of a cyst wall, there is no obvious structural development of larvae beyond their free living stage. Look at this picture showing life cycle of nematomorph. This is a primary host and this is the adult worm, larva, and parasitonic host, which may be a snail or an aquatic insect. And in this picture you can see the egg strength of Nematomorpha. And these are references from Parasitology textbooks if you want to have a look. Thank you.